Hello, welcome and good evening to one and all. This is the finale of the F3 season here, round 14 Australia, for the end of the 9th season here in PSF1. And the drivers have all gone out on their first runs, currently on pole with a 22.3. I would expect them to be seeing a lot quicker than that later on from drivers such as Voltex Aaron, who is out, Blizzard, who is parked in the middle of the track, and possibly Hamilton actually. So not quite sure what's happened with Aaron there. He's obviously put it in the wall somewhere. And at the moment it is Voltex Voids on pole with a 22.3, followed by Kingdom Martin with a 23.1. A very slow lap actually. Would be expecting for these guys to get at least into the 21s. So we'll see what happens later on. We're watching Blizzard now. See if he can produce anything. Let's get the lap data up. Right on board through the second sectors now. And fourth getting City, and he's all over the place coming out of 7. Through turn 8 now, the flat right-hander coming up into turn 9. Down to third gear, up into fourth to prevent any wheel spin. Fast left-hander now, not actually a corner. Going to the FI8 through 11 and 12 then. Is he going to lose the back end? He is! And he's going to be putting out on this lap, I would have thought. This will be a pretty decent lap though, I would have thought. Been pretty flawless up until that point. Little downshift there into 5th. And he indeed comes into the pits, so he will go out for his second run, and that will be his only run that he gets. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. Just under 4 minutes left now in the session. Be waiting for the drivers to go out for their second runs. And interestingly, some of the very quick guys, of course Aaron, I'm not sure if he's retired just out of the fact that he was a little bit of a challenge start from the back maybe. He's already top of the leaderboard confirmed. So whether it's just a matter of that or he did actually crash, I'd be interested to know. And Manuel Hamilton that goes at fastest with a 1:19.1. Now how on earth has he managed that? Not too sure that's legitimate, because a 1:19.1 is impossible, especially on super softs. So I'm not quite sure how on earth he's managed that. I will never know. Now let's look at the race director. Let's look at Voltex Void's sector times: 27.1, 22.4, and a 32.7. 24.7, 21.1. So that's the second fast there, and a 33.2. So yeah, that's a pretty realistic time, but the first sector definitely well off. Not quite sure how he's done that. Just watching our Void go onto his lap now. Adjusting the dials there, very fidgety as he comes up to the line. Just over 2 minutes left in the session now, everyone out pretty much, or coming out now anyway. Across the line comes at Milan, and he will go onto his flying lap now. Trenchcan in the pits, interestingly, so he won't be going out again. Oll's on his outlap, He will be looking for a quick time to put him up there. The Lee has retired. Where is that? That's yep, so he's just parked it up at turn 1. P7 for him at the moment, 23.8, not the best of lap times. Where is Blizzard? Here he is on his outlap. Didn't quite make it stick the first time through the S's. Wonder if he'll be able to get it right the second time. Out of the final corner then, up through the gears. We'll ride on board with Blizzard. Oh, that massive slap of oversteer as he comes off the curb at turn 2. Manages to correct it very nicely though. He's going to use second gear. Yep, he does. Runs a little bit wide on entrance. On the grass as he comes into 4. Maybe a little bit of lag playing its part as well. Bit hesitant on the throttle there through 5. Milan retires with a lap that's only put him 8th. Blizzard on a quick one though. Early upshift to try and prevent wheel spin. Oh, and he's fidgety coming through the S's again. That was the section where he struggled last time round. Tazako's P5, Trench Gun P6, they are both finished. Oh, and Blizzard is all over the place at the moment. Clearly running a high ballast setup. And you know what, he might struggle to get pole here, and he's thinking maybe a bit of lag again. It is going to be a 1:21.0. He will be on pole though. Hamilton will drop back. Voids crossed the line with a 21.6. Zandamar won't set another lap, so Hamilton will have to start further down at 24.7 in that first sector, 2 seconds faster. So if you were to compare that with where he actually is, that would have put him on a 21.1. So actually second place, which isn't too bad actually, but let's just have another little look to be exact. 27.7, so yeah, 2.1 seconds. So at 21.2, so he only has to start in 3rd or 4th place. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so the session just taking its time at the moment. Blizzard will take pole. And there you go. Eventually retiring is Zandamar. So pole position will go to Blizzard. Second is Voids. No, sorry, third will be Voids because we take 2.1 seconds. Add 2.1 seconds, so he can actually start second. Voids will start third. Zandamar 4th. Ols 5th. 6th is Kingdom Martin. 7th is Tezza. 8th is Trench Gun. Trench Gun, interestingly, on the super soft tyres, so he's obviously doesn't feel confident on the ultra softs. The Lee in P9. P10 is Milan, and 11th and 12th. No time set for Aaron. 11th, Shane, the only driver to be in the 24s. Waiting for the session to advance now. If we just look at the time again from Blizzard compared to Hamilton, 32.3 in that sector and a 33.2, so he was much slower, and that first sector really did give him a boost. Well, they did set a 21.1 in the middle sector, and no one else even got close, so I think it might be safe to say that he has to start another second down, which would mean a 22.1, which would mean P4. Session doesn't seem to be advancing. We will do one shot if the session doesn't advance. At the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting anywhere. Sorry, yeah, we'll do a custom grid. So yeah, we will do a custom grid then, and we will have to restart the session. And unfortunately, it means that this finale is going to be delayed just a little bit. Okay then, we're finally all ready to go. Sorry for the hold up, but we are finally ready to go again. And it will be straight into the race. Formation lap is of course on. Voids. Voids will have to start at the back as well due to the fact he left the session whilst the grid was being edited, therefore he will have to start down at the back, and just confirmation of that. Hopefully everyone will adhere to the 2 minutes that we've got in place, and they will need it today, obviously setups etc. got to be put into place. And drivers will hopefully be ready for a race which is going to be an interesting one. A little bit of rain in the middle as well, so hopefully that should spice things up a little bit. But for now, we just let them get all their setups etc. ready for the race. There we go then, we're ready for the start of the race now, just waiting for everyone to confirm ready up, and we'll get straight into the formation up here for the finale of the F3 race here today in Melbourne, of course. Just looking at the championship, what does this mean for the drivers and where have they got to finish in relativeness to get promoted? Of course, Lily not here today, so he will miss out. Frag removed from the league, which means there's a couple more promotion spots available than what there was last week. So we'll have a look at that in a moment's time. Let's just make sure that everyone's on the right tyres. And Hamilton, yep, on the super soft tyres. Transcon also on super softs. And Hamilton doesn't seem to have moved it, not quite sure why that is. But interestingly, it is a Williams 1-2. So it should be interesting. We'll see if there's any teammate love between these two as they go into turn 1. So we'll be ultra softs for the front two, super softs for Manuel Hamilton. Expect him to drop back fairly rapidly early on, but if he can get those tyres switched on, then he's got a good chance here, because of course the rain coming in later towards the midpoint of the race. But Lilly at the moment currently in the promotion spots, and he will go up unless he's outscored by Kingdom Martin, and Kingdom Martin will have to finish 4th in order to obtain that. But even then, I'm not even sure if on countback he would get promoted. So Lilly's pretty much guaranteed. Marklin's not here again, which means he's not got to worry. Trench Gun is right up in there as well. The Lee's actually borderline at the moment, but he would have to get 2nd place today to actually get promoted, so I don't think that will be happening somehow. Milan up there as well, again needs a 2nd place. In fact, he needs to win today to get promoted, unfortunately, so he won't be going up. But it is Aaron's for the taking. Tezza promoted as well, congratulations to you. And Manuel Hamilton, the other driver, that hasn't quite got it sealed, but it's pretty much guaranteed. In fact, no, it is, because unless Kingdom Martin wins, he is safe. So basically guaranteed safety for Manuel Hamilton. If he scores points today, he is promoted. Even if he doesn't, it is pretty much guaranteed anyway. Trench Gun, the only driver really in danger, and that's when Kingdom Martin's got a 4-point buffer. But other than that, it's pretty much all set and done. Getting ready then for the start of the Australian Grand Prix here. Round 14, the finale for the F3 division here in PSF1. 5 red lights then. 2 Williams on the front row, and away we go. It's a poor start from the Force India of Manuel Hamilton. He's already losing places. And it's the Ferrari up the inside making progress early on here. One of the Red Bulls cutting the corner, I believe that is Tezza. And Hamilton's an awful start. What's going on here? All the way down to the back he goes. And he's had an absolutely atrocious start. He's got the Lee all over the back of him as well. Voigt has had an off, and he's already in trouble. And Aaron already making good progress, but he's being pushed off the track a little bit. Voigt's leading the session. Churchka making good progress as well. Let's just have a little look at the position change. And there you can see Shane the Boss and Aaron. Good progress there. Aaron all over the back of Shane. And he may have got through. It pushes the Renault wide. They come into touch it, and that's into the wall from Shane. He will not be happy with that. That was an aggressive move from Aaron, and I would expect something to be done about that later on. But we'll see if that goes through or not. Trench Gun's chasing down Tezza, and Shane has retired. Where's he lost that? Coming out of the fast chicane. Something tells me that's not quite as accidental as it looks. And also the Lee has crashed out. I'm not quite sure how he's lost it there. Traction zone, maybe. Which means we're already down to 9 from 12. Blizzard sets the fastest lap. Manuel Hamilton really is struggling. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. We'll see how this race develops. Trench got all over the back of Tezza. On those super softs, of course, can take his time. But it is Blizzard at the moment that's pushed his way through the first few turns and has come out on top. Zandamar further behind, not really being able to challenge, and I imagine Ols will be on him soon. For the moment, this is the closest battle on track. Even after the first 2 laps, everything's quite sporadic, which is a shame really. It's been like this all season really for F3. Tezza defending. You don't really want to go for a move here. Trench Gun's looking for it. He's clearly got the overspeed on Tezza. It wouldn't surprise me if this race is determined on penalties as well. It is quite a corner cutty track. And you can see that Aaron in the background all over them. Blizzard sets another fastest lap and pulls another 8/10 on Zandamar. Ols is actually falling back here. Kingdom Martin's in a good position for 4th. He will jump Lilly at this current stage. He's on 1 today, Kingdom. This is going Gonna have not DRS just yet. See their rear flap still closed. He's gonna have a look. He is down the inside of turn 3, and he's gone wide. He's gone deep, and that lets Aaron through as well. And that is a big mistake there from Trenchcard, and Hamilton's also left the session. Not quite sure why he's done that. And into the wall goes Milan. He's lost his front wing. We're already down to 8 runners, and he has lost of them. So we could quite easily be down to 7 here. Trenchcard continues to go on. That's Aaron down the inside of Tezza, and he's not giving him anywhere near enough space, and they're sideways, and Aaron, proving that he's not quite the best at overtakes. Milan goes through. Didn't give him anywhere near enough space there on the outside, did Aaron. And they're going for it again. He's pushed, has he pushed him wide there? I'm not quite sure, didn't really see from that angle. I think he may have just understeered because he's got that half broken front wing, so maybe that's what that was. Blizzard sets another fastest lap, and Kingdom Martin just beginning to fall back now in the other McLaren, of course. Hamilton rejoins. Tezza losing a position. No, he's not. There's Milan in the pit stall, something out the corner of my eye. Trenchcard's got a 6-second deficit now to Kingdom. Hamilton back in the car, hopefully. Not quite sure if he had an issue. Back in the car now, anyway. Almost looks like he is in AI mode at the moment. Not quite sure what's going on there. Milan has pitted for a new front wing, so good to see that he carries on. Martin now looking to close the gap on Olds, and he has, in fact, to under a second now. It's just gone up again as they come through turn 13. Took a very narrow line through 14. You can see the understeer he's suffering from at the moment, and he has got a front wing intact, so it'll be interesting to see if he can actually get close to the back of Olds if he's suffering from understeer. Much slower, using almost a gear too low in some places. Well, he's just losing the back end there. Of course, the rain will play a factor as well. The guys on Ultrasofts may actually be punished here, because you've got Trenchcard and Manuel Hamilton's pretty much out of it now. It's an entire pit stop behind Tezza, let alone the leaders. But yeah, the super soft runner of Trenchcard could come into play here, because the Ultrasoft runners will have to pit that bit earlier. And they'll be in about lap 10, I would have thought. There's a yellow in sector 3. That is Milan again, and he's got another front wing to put on. He's navigated that quite well actually in the end. Milan still strolling around, not quite sure what he's doing. Milan has actually retired. Is it Manuel Hamilton, sorry. But he's got to make sure he gets out of the way if anyone comes around. Trenchcard then not particularly close on Kingdom Martin, who's now dropped back off of Ols. He is doing enough though to get promoted right now. Milan leaves the session. We're already down to 8 runners. Technically 7, as Milan's not really even contesting this. He is just making sure he gets promoted. Fair enough to him, but we would have liked to have seen him at least try. Yellow in sector 1. I can only imagine. Oh, it's not actually. This would have been a slow car, but no. Blizzard then, pretty much in control of this race for the moment, and he probably will be until the end. Aaron, meanwhile, let's just see where he is, as Hamilton once again leads the session. He's already onto the... so he's made a pit stop. No, he hasn't, because he started on those tyres. So that's why it's taking just a little bit longer to close up the Trenchcard than it normally would. You're seeing him up the front, but today started at the back for not quite sure what reason, whether he binned it in qualifying or he just didn't set a lap. And he's beginning to close in now on that Force India in front. You see they're running very, very wide coming out of the far chicane. And although he did gain, it won't help him because it would have actually affected his straight line speed into turn 13. Overall round the lap he is much quicker than Trench Gun, even on the harder tyres. A little look at the sky, fairly clean for now, no dark clouds looming. Zandamar already has a 6-second deficit to his teammate. And Kingdom Martin was within a second 2 laps ago, and he's already 2.1 down. Not quite sure what's going on here. Struggling for pace and overall grip, it looks like. Oh, what's happened there? That is Trench Gun lapping his teammate who was disconnected from the session. Aaron goes past as well. That is the physical gap between himself and Trench Gun. And this is the closest contested position we have on track, unfortunately, at the moment. Only theoretically speaking, well, yeah, 7 runners because Voigt and Hamilton both disconnected for whatever reasons they may be. Big corner cut there from the McLaren driver. Not used to having to see him push like this. And Kingdom Martin's actually in the pit, so what's happened there? He's onto another set of the ultra soft tyres. That is very interesting indeed. He has put them on. I'm not quite sure what. Lap 8 is a very early stop. Hamilton's back in. Aaron's so much quicker than Trench Gun at this point in time. Tezza gets past Kingdom Martin as well. The gap isn't quite as close as the Delta showing. This one, however, is very close indeed, and we may see a move from Aaron into turn 13 after the far chicane, if he can hold it together through there. He's struggled a couple of times already. Trench Gun, of course, former F1 driver. Never scored a point though. Got a yellow in sector 3. All good up the front, so probably just a disconnected car, and it's actually Voigt has managed to, well, pass Manuel Hamilton. That's how slow he is going. But this is the fight at the moment for 4th place, and that is Aaron through Trench Gun letting him past. So he's obviously just feeling that he can finish this race and get it done quite easily. And Manuel Hamilton has indeed retired, and that is him over. So I don't actually think he can get promoted now. Down to 7 runners then. Tezza going round behind Kingdom Martin, who's all over the place at the moment. That is his lag. Running on board with Tezza just to show the lag that McLaren is actually giving off. Can actually affect the driver behind massively. Trench Gun not particularly dropping off of Aaron, but he is almost a second down already, so that is pretty much that for now. And until the rain, there won't be much, I would have thought, in terms of position changes, although we will possibly see some pit stops in the next lap or two. Let's have a look at the sky. It is beginning to darken just a little bit. And that is going to be the cause of these guys. No raindrops on the nose of the cars just yet. But we'll see if these guys on the... It'll be Aaron that really does gain a lot here, because the soft tyres are much better in the cooler conditions. So they have a lower operating temperature. So we'll see what happens a little bit later on. Aaron currently, let's see how far behind he is. He is 19 seconds behind Blizzard, almost a full pit stop actually. So it will be interesting to see where the leaders come out when they do pit, if the rain comes quick enough. Still no signs of rain just yet. I'll still going round in third place. Very conservative though, the way he's driving today. Zanima obviously can't get promoted. He's giving it his all though, and as I say, that nearly puts it in the wall. Might see him in at the end of this lap. We'll see. Blizzard as well. See the graining on that front left there. There you go. Left side does take a pounding round here. Very cautious out of turn 9. Or turn 10 rather. Very conservative from Blizzard, really trying to ease it through, and again unsettles the car through turn 12. And I would have thought he'd be in at the end of this lap, because if he goes any longer, he's really pushing the boundaries of those tyres. You can see he's struggling already. Aaron Gate is second that lap, and he's going to stay out again. He obviously feels this rain is coming, but is it going to come quick enough? Because obviously the track has got to absorb the moisture as well, and it's got to start sitting on the surface, and at the moment it's not even raining at all. There's no moisture at all on the front of the cars, which is the normally first indicator as to how wet the track really is. Nothing at the moment though. Aaron beginning to close in now on that podium. He is much quicker at this stage than both of the guys in front of him. And there you go, there's his first rain. And Ols immediately struggling. Aaron trying to force his way through, and he's got his front wing taken off for... Yeah, it was probably a very optimistic move. Didn't really need to do it. Ols is struggling, and he could have quite easily just waited and got past at a later corner. But he's put himself in that position, and I'm not quite sure if there's a bit of lag there. Ols just didn't see him, and he's lost his front wing as a consequence of that. So now we're going to really see a fight as to see who is actually going to come in and who's going to try brave it. He's understeering now because of the rain. Will he pit at the end of this lap? He's going to continue on, so he really is trying to nurse those tyres. And Aaron, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Also spun round. And Trench Gun's now into what will be a podium position because Aaron's run wide. Sensibly stays out of the way. I'm not quite sure what went on there. Aaron will have to pit, there's no doubt about that. There you go. McLaren peels off. And Trench Gun has just been given possibly the easiest podium of his life because he's going to be catching like crazy now on the two cars in front. Aaron also gets a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. And his teammate goes past, almost losing the back end. Was Hazard in at the end of this lap? I'm not too sure. Aaron onto the intermediate straight away then. Definitely not going on the slick tyres. Front wing change of course. Tezza also in, so he feels it's wet enough. Under the speed limit. Is Blizzard struggling at the moment? I'm not too sure. Just watching through here, this is where he's really going to suffer through these high speed corners where he understeers. You can see they're using 5th gear rather than the preferable 6th. But Trench Gun not really closing, which will be his indicator, not that he can see, actually no he can see time delta. So he may just stay out. His Andamar really is struggling though. He's now gone from what was, I think it was 7 or 8 seconds before the rain. He's nearly 12 seconds down now. It's only been raining for a lap. Sector 1 we've got a yellow. I can only imagine that's voids. Blizzard into the pits then. Well under the speed limit. You can see Zanima really is coasting. He's in AI mode actually at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And he's missed the pits. And he's going to have to go in. Quite sure what's going on here. He's trying to adjust something. See, something wasn't quite right. Trench Gun comes in as well. He hasn't really gained time though on those super softs. Ols stays out. That's a very interesting call. It's going to be like driving on ice for the Ferrari driver. He's not got a chance. Kingdom Martin in as well. That is everyone now onto mediums. Where is Aaron? There he is. And he's in the wall. And that is going to be... No, he's just about saved it. Kept it out the wall just about. Too fast through the fast chicane. And Aaron has rage quit the session. The prestigious driver that seems to have lit up this division has left the session because he spun it coming out of turn 12. Tezza's still going. I thought he was, no, he's on intermediate. We always have this with Tezza. He constantly has the wrong tyres on. He is on intermediate tyres. You know, the game says otherwise. Oh, let's see how much time he's losing to Zandamar then. This would be an indication. Trenchgun's closed that gap from 12 to 6 seconds. There's a massive snap of oversteer. DRS, as you can see, they're disabled in the bottom left-hand corner. Now watch that gap. That's the gap we want to look for. It's 8.7 at the moment. 8.4 is coming down at a mighty rate. And Ols is going to drop out behind. He might drop out behind Kingdom Martin here. We're basically down to 6 runners. We've already lost half the field, which is very unusual indeed. Zandamar cruising round at the moment. He really is taking it easy. Comes out of the chicane, loses the back end. You have to say at the moment it is anyone's race if everyone's struggling like this. We're obviously using the dry setups. Oh, that's who's that round? That's Ols, and he's lost it. He's taken the biggest penalty possible, losing it in these conditions. He's going to have to get a wing change as well. He's got to let Trenchgun through surely, and he does indeed do that. Good sportsmanship there. Getting out of the way nice and early. Kingdom Martin's going to be the next one to pick him off, but he's a little bit further back. And Tezza's actually going to get past as well here, possibly. Although he is some 23 seconds behind. Ols, look how slow he's going. Into the pit lane. Just making sure he doesn't get any more damage. And potentially ruin his race. So at the moment then, Trenchgun, who's currently in 3rd place, will get 15 points, which will put him onto 68. He will jump Lilliart. Hamilton, of course, not here. So if Trenchgun were to finish 2nd, he would actually go ahead of Manuel Hamilton. Marklin, of course, not here. How could... Yeah, he could have easily got promoted. Only 50 points this season. Kingdom Martin at the moment, currently in P4. That is 12 points for him. So he will move on to 51. Sorry, 61, so he'll be level with Lilliart. But he will jump Lilliart, I would think. And straight into the gravel trap coming out of the pits. As Tezza now holds P5. He's promoted anyway. And he will get 10 points for his troubles and be on 104 points at the end of the season. PSR Blizzard can't get promoted, having only joined last race. And he will be on 37 points, which will put him above Voids and pretty much everyone below Voids in the table, because none of them are racing today, which is unfortunate. Zandamar can't get promoted anyway. Lilliart will be jumped. The Lee also not racing at the moment. Milan retired as well. So basically the only people racing are Ols, Zandamar and Blizzard. They're the ones that can't get promoted anyway. Everyone else that's actually in the session, which is Kingdom Martin and Trenchgun. So pretty much no one do have a chance of promotion. Ols, just looking at it now, if he were to win, he could actually beat Lilliart, but currently going around in P6, and the way it's gone so far for him, he hasn't got a chance. And everyone is almost a 10-second gap between every driver. And, the rain will be coming down for a little bit longer. To see where these guys are when it comes to another round of pit stops. Whether the 6 will actually be usable again or not, we'll find out. And it is only just gone half distance as well. So lap 19 of 29, the race has pretty much gone stale. I think it's fair to say we have 6 drivers racing, separated by the best part of just over a minute. The conditions, as you can see, aren't preferable, but that's definitely another reason why they're so spread out. Trenchgun couldn't make his super softs work in quite the way he would have hoped, I would assume, but he's in P3, so he'll be happy. His promotion spot is pretty much guaranteed. And other than that, Tezza promoted already. Kingdom Martin, I'm pretty sure he would go up on countback over Lily. Trenchgun wouldn't actually jump Manuel Hamilton either. Sure, which means the Manuel Hamilton will go up. Gaps pretty much all that 10 seconds, apart from Trenchgun, who's a little bit more than that behind Zandamar, who is 25 behind the race leader Blizzard. So just looking back, Lily would actually go up on countback because he's had 2 second place finishes and a third place finish, whereas Kingdom Martin only has a 1 third place finish. However, Lily has only raced 5 races and 3 of those are podiums. Quite a good conversion rate when you think about it. So Lily would go up on countback unless Kingdom Martin can get past Trenchgun, in which case he would go up anyway on points. So as we can see, the rain has stopped for the meantime. The track, however, still very wet, and Kingdom Martin suffering mostly from that. He's dropped 4 seconds on Trench Gun, and Tesla and Trench Gun actually lapping at very similar pace, because the 4 seconds that Kingdom Martin's lost, Tesla has gained on him. As you can see there, another big tank slapper. DRS has been disabled, which is an indicator that the slick tyres are good to use at this point. And to be honest, if I was Zandamar, I would get into those pits now, because there isn't a lot of spray coming off of the tyres, although there is still some there, so wouldn't surprise me if he does stay out, but coming in definitely wouldn't be the worst option in the world. And indeed, Zandamar pits. Trench Gun, let's see what he does. Tesla now only 3.8 behind Kingdom Martin, and that just goes to show how stability can really prove fruitful, actually. Onto the Ultra Softs then for Zandamar. Trench Gun, what does he go on to? He's onto the Ultras as well. No surprises there then. Blizzard still leads, and he'll have almost a minute lead by the time he gets round. Tesla very slow into the pits. He's actually just lost a lot of time. Just about creeps under the pit limiter. Olds comes in as well. He's had a poor race. Even the AI car of Aaron coming in, and Olds gets a 5-second stop go as well. Not that it will really affect him, because he's got no one behind him. Everyone onto the Ultra Softs then, apart from this man, who is currently just getting off of the same lap, although he is nearly a lap ahead. Under the pit limiter. And nice of Codemasters to give us that. Now we'll start to see fastest lap times come back around, and I'm presuming they'll be popped in towards the end of the race now, all of them. And Tez's actually got I was looking at that thinking to myself, well, that's not right. And Tez's actually got past him, so I'm not quite sure how that's happened. But Kingdom Martin, although he wasn't getting promoted anyway, has thrown this away. Quite astonishing, really. And Trench Gun has caught right up to the back of Zandamar here. Zandamar obviously struggling in these slippery conditions. He's actually lost nearly 20 seconds to his teammate. No, he hasn't, because Blizzard... Yeah, there we go. Well, so just updated. Kingdom Martin gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Can Trench Gun push for second place here? Going to catch by about a second a lap. .9 now for Kingdom Martin. He's catching back up to Tezza. Not quite as quick as he'd hope, but he's getting there. Interesting to see how much different drivers drive when they've got something in front of them to aim for rather than something in just time. Much more incentive when you're catching a physical car rather than just seeing the delta come down. Actually being able to see that 4th place. Zandamar then pops in the first slick time that we've had since the beginning. It's a 24.0. And Tezza doesn't look in the best of shape here, to be honest. Trench Gun's beginning to drop back off of Zandamar now, but he's promoted anyway as long as he doesn't crash it now. There you go, the DRS of course will be enabled, so he'll come down this second straight with the DRS open, although he's not chosen to open it. DRS is enabled. Whether he just doesn't know he's got it yet or not, I'm not quite sure. He is faster than Tezza though, but he is more prone to mistakes than Tezza, so it's an interesting contrast between the two drivers. Blizzard almost 2 seconds faster than Zandamart. I expect there to be a couple more of those. 22s is actually it's pretty quick, to be fair. Expect a faster lap next time round though, due to the fact the track is just beginning to warm up again to these tyres. All over the back of the Red Bull now. Does he have DRS enabled this time? Yeah, he does. So he does realise he's got it now anyway. Oh, Tezza wide at turn 1. This is going to provide an opportunity now into turn 3 for Martin. DRS enabled again. Trying to go around the outside. He's gone deep, has he? And he just about saved it. Tezza comes across up the inside now for turn 4. Tezza swoops around the outside though, keeps the position for now. This is just beginning to warm up now. Half a second separates the two. Nothing really to play for. Tezza already promoted and Kingdom Martin can't get promoted today. But it is good to see them fight nonetheless. Much closer, much tighter line through the S's. You can see how close he is. Trying to go around the outside of 13, Tezza defending the inside, and they've locked wheels, and Kingdom Martin's in the wall. Unfortunately, that's that. That is pretty much guaranteed. And Ols actually goes past as well, so Kingdom Martin will pick up P6. And he's actually retired, although he will score the points for P6. Rather controversial, unfortunately. Pretty sure Tezza will be thinking back to himself about that one. Zandamart actually losing time now to Trench Gun. .4 now the gap as Blizzard goes on to his final lap. Only started with 12 and we're going to finish with 5. The Australian Grand Prix has seen this before actually, a long time ago, where there was only 6 finishers, but they started with 20, we started with 12. But it is going to be VSR Blizzard that will take the checker flag here in Australia. He's been, I wouldn't say untouchable race, he just hasn't been close to anyone. Everyone else has pretty much just been slower really. Zandamart wasn't able to cause any problems throughout the first couple of laps, and that just enabled him to get away. So congratulations to Blizzard. He almost puts it in the wall and bins it, but he does claim the victory here in Australia. 25 points for him, not that it affects him anyway whatsoever in the table other than a higher finishing position. And well done to him. Zandamart will come across the line in P2. If he doesn't put it in the wall, then he's very nearly done that as well. My goodness, the Williams drivers are cutting it close today. Pretty sure he would have had a sharp breath or two there. Comes out of the final corner, keeps it clean this time, crosses the line in P2. Trench Gun managed to get the gap down to 1.5 in the end. and he will be promoted. He's actually jumped him, so he's obviously had a 3-second time penalty, Zandamar. Trenchgun will claim P2. So he is into F2 for next season. Tezza will cross the line in P4, Old's in P5. Tezza also promoted, of course. Cross the line, he comes. P4 for Tezza, good run for him this season. He couldn't get promoted last season, missed out just. But he will be into F2 for the 10th season of PSF1 on the new F1 2018 game. Might be a while before we see another season of that. And Olds comes across the line in P5. Kingdom Martin will be classified P6, although he did crash 2 laps from the end. There we have it. 2 Brits and a Canadian on the podium. 2 Williams and a Force India. Not the most exciting race, but well done to Blizzard and well done to Trenchgun and Zandamar, who, as you can see, their confirmation of that 3-second time penalty that was added at the end of his race time. Best laps were very close in the end between the top 3. But it is Blizzard that comes home with the 25 points. Trenchgun and Tezza promoted. Other than that, everyone will be here again next season. Kingdom Martin needed better than 4th to get promoted. Ended up getting there and then dropping out with a collision with Tezza. So we'll see what's said about that. But for now, that is it for Season 9 and F1 2017. We'll be back at some point for the new game. Probably won't be until September time. But we'll find out more as the game is released and we get closer to the new season. So thank you very much for watching and following drivers this season. Of course, anyone that's got promoted, congratulations, and all of the guys coming down from F2 will be interesting to see them race next season. But for now, it's goodbye from me, and we'll see you at some point on the new F1 2018 game. Thank you and bye bye.